When it comes to true love, when it comes to real love, people all over this world are looking for it. Some people feel like they used to have it and they trying to get it back. Some people, they think they got it right now. They didn't trick themselves into thinking that they got real love right now, but they just thought it would be more. If the love that you got in your life right now ain't fulfilling enough to you, I'm sorry to say, but it probably ain't real love. Now, the hurdle and the obstacle a lot of people are faced with today when it comes to love is that they never learn how to love themselves first. That ain't just important. That ain't just highly valuable in this space. It's mandatory. It's literally a prerequisite to you finding true love. Think about it like this. Think about a chef, a good chef. They got skills. They get down in the kitchen, right? But it's their first time trying this recipe. If you let a chef who is their first time trying this recipe serve you that dish without them trying it first, hey, good luck to you. Good luck to you. Better say a prayer. Better make sure to bless that plate. And that's what it's like when you trying to love somebody else when you ain't even learned to love you. I'm telling you, this is not a game. This is not just some cliche stuff. It is mandatory. When you learn how to love yourself first, there's a certain understanding that comes with that. There's a certain peace that comes with that. It's certain boundaries that come with that, with loving yourself. If I'm loving myself first, that's gonna not only reflect how I love somebody else, but it's also indicative of the type of love I'm gonna allow myself to receive. Some people, right, they in relationships and their relationship is great. The person that they with, fantastic. They thoughtful, they sweet, they caring. And all it takes to get them out of that characteristic is to make them mad. All it takes is for y'all to have an argument. Y'all have a disagreement. Well, let me be the first to tell you that is not normal. It's not normal for somebody to be everything you want in a partner, but when they get mad, they turn into everything you can't stand. Even in an argument or a disagreement, you can still disagree with somebody through love. You can still have an argument with somebody out of love. When you learn how to love yourself first, right? Like I said earlier, there's a certain peace that comes with that. Not only that, that peace that comes with loving yourself is priceless. It's priceless. And whenever you achieve that, you're not going to allow anybody to mess that up. You're not going to let nobody disturb your peace. I don't care who it is. I don't care how bad you want to be with that person. I don't care how good they look. Because also what comes with loving yourself is certain self-esteem, self-respect, and just certain things you're going to tolerate, certain things that you're not, because it's not worth it. There is an intrinsic value in loving yourself first. And it has to be that way. Otherwise, like I said, how you going to love them correctly? Think about it like this. Think about if there's a man, right? There's a man, he loves a woman. He's everything she wants in a man, except when he gets mad, he got the tendency to punch stuff, to hit walls and to punch mirrors and all that type of stuff. Y'all done either seen or heard of somebody like this before. Now the issue with that man is he don't love himself. If he loved himself, he would understand that no matter how mad he is right now, it's not worth harming myself to show how mad I am. Me punching this wall ain't worth it. It's not worth breaking my hand on this wall, cutting myself up by punching through this glass. It's not worth it just to prove how upset I am right now. That's crazy. Plus, think about the woman that he's with. You gonna have a hard time convincing this woman that you would never put your hands on her when you got mad if you can't even keep your hands off of the wall and the furniture and stuff for your own sake. And here, I want y'all to hear me well. If they running around not caring about their own well-being, what is supposed to make that woman put that trust in that man that when he gets mad, he's gonna put my well-being to the top priority? You fool yourself into thinking that if you want to. Loving yourself is the prerequisite. Not only that, once you're properly in touch and loving yourself, that sounded a little crazy. Hold on. Once you're properly aligned with loving yourself, that also teaches you what real love feels like. Oh, this peace, this is the peace that comes with real love. This is the understanding that comes with real love. And the value you get in knowing that is that now that same peace, that same understanding, the same considerations that you would take for yourself, you're now able to display that to somebody else. How can I offer this person real love and I don't know what real love is? I'm thinking it's the same thing my parents went through. Yeah, we gonna have our good times. Yeah, we gonna have our bad times. Sometimes it might get a little rough. We might get a little loud. We might get a little disrespectful. Yeah, if you toxic. If you're in a toxic relationship, that's what that is. When you're in a toxic relationship, y'all gonna yell. You're gonna scream. You're gonna try to talk over each other. You're gonna insult each other just to make a point. And let me be the first to tell you, that is not real love. That is people who care more about trying to be right and prove the other person wrong and make the other person look dumb in this moment. We care more about that stuff than we care about getting on the same page. That's what that is, which is not true love. True love is, even though we're not on the same page, the whole point of this disagreement is to get on the same page. It's not for me to insult you in ways that I'm going to have to apologize later on if you even accept the apology. That's not real love. It's not over talking the person. It's not getting in their personal space and trying to intimidate them into seeing things your way. That's not real love. Real love is, yes, we disagree. Yes, we're not on the same page right now. But in explaining my point of view, I'm going to be respectful. Why? Because not only do I love this person that I'm with, I love myself first. I'm not going to argue with you like that because I don't want to stress me out because of the love I got for me. I don't want to expose myself to that level of toxicity because I love myself. And before I become a burden on somebody else by trying to prove my point and trying to degrade them just to make a point, I just as soon as walk away. Why? Because I love me first. By walking away, I get to keep my peace and my love that I have for myself, and what I expose myself to is more important than trying to prove a point to somebody, especially if I have to be disrespectful about it. And that's what loving yourself first gives you. Okay? Now, I don't want nobody to misconstrue what I'm saying. I'm not saying you gotta be perfect. I'm not saying you gotta pick a perfect partner. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm simply saying is once you truly love yourself first, that gives you the proper foundation and the proper lens to see true love through. That's what I'm saying. Think about it like this. Think about when you first learned how to drive, right? When you first learned how to drive, it was certain rules and regulations that you have to follow. Not just talking about the law and the rules of the road. Of course, you always got to abide by that. I'm talking about in the car. When you first learning how to drive, 10 and 2. 10 and 2 on the steering wheel. You probably ain't had music up that loud. For most of us that had to learn, we had to learn with an adult in the car. And for me, it was me and my mom. Me and mama in the car. I couldn't have the music up blasting because I need to hear her instructions in case she got to give me split second advice. I got to be able to hear what mama talking about. It wasn't really no passengers or nothing with me in the car. That was the foundation. That was the foundation. Once I got a little more comfortable with that, okay, you can take the car yourself now. You can drive by yourself. Then when you get a little more comfortable driving by yourself, now I can drive by myself with the music up if I want. Blast it loud as I want to. Then when you got a little better at that, now I can drive with a passenger, with somebody that's my friend, my homeboy, something like that. Go pick up some little girly, all of that. Well, you had to start with that foundation. That way you always have the proper lens to see things through. It ain't supposed to be perfect. It's not going to be perfect. Even when people take vows to get married, though, for better or worse. Because everybody is of the understanding that every single day in a relationship, it ain't going to be paradise. And it don't have to be. It at least need to be worth it, though. And this is what I'm saying. For me, true love and finding a perfect partner is simply whenever you can be the best version of yourself, and the best version of yourself is allowed to flourish in the relationship without stepping on your partner being the best version of themselves, and vice versa. When we both can unapologetically be the best versions of ourselves together, that's a match made in heaven. Right there. And that's what I'm saying. When you finally is at the point where you're loving yourself first, you got the proper lens to see things through. What I'm going to deal with, what I'm not going to deal with. This is what I'll tolerate. This is a deal breaker for me. You ain't finna talk to me like this. You're not finna make me feel less about myself. You're not going to make me feel like I'm in danger. All of these things. And for the young men out there, I want y'all to hear me. Y'all need to listen up. Because when you in a relationship with a woman, part of your duties is not only be the provider, you got to be the protector. You got to be the leader. And even when I say provide, I'm not just talking about providing financially. I'm talking about you need to provide safety. You need to provide some wisdom. You need to provide a listening ear for whatever your woman going through. How are you supposed to do all of this stuff properly if you ain't never learned how to love yourself? And that's what I'm saying. Simply loving yourself properly allows you to love someone else properly because you know what it takes. You know what comes with it. If I'm not offering this woman a certain level of peace, how am I going to say I love her? How? If this woman ain't exposing this man to a certain level of support and nurturing, how is she going to say she love him? If she bringing stress into his life, instead of being the one to support him through the stress, how can she say she really love him? For the man, if I don't make my woman feel safe, if I'm the one making her feel like her life is in danger or something, how can I be the one saying I really love her? It don't make sense. We have to be able to understand that this is simply the foundation. This is the foundation. When I love me, these are the advantages and the benefits that it gives me. All of these insights. So if I'm not exercising the same level when I go to love somebody else, how can I say it's real love? I'm not bringing them peace. I'm not giving them peace of mind. I'm stressing them out more. But please let me reiterate, I am not saying anybody has to be perfect. I mean, come on, none of us are perfect. We are all flawed humans. However, like I was saying about all the insights you get, another one of the advantages you get is self-awareness. And self-awareness is key in this because Not only will it help you to easier identify which flaws it is that you want to put up with and which ones you don't, it'll also weed out some of that stuff for you. And you might not believe it. Listen to this. Because when you become self-aware, you carry yourself like it. When you love yourself, you carry yourself like it. Now, let me tell you about this. It's some behind the scenes man stuff, right? I got plenty of friends, plenty of guys that I know. And I've always known these guys to be a certain way, especially when dealing with women. However, these same guys, I done heard these same guys talk about women who they've never had an interaction with, ever. Never even spoke to this woman. They see her, they've heard about her, all of this and that, and they want that woman without ever even having to interact with her or anything. But this is also what they say. I know that I'm like this, but for her, I'd change. For her, I'd be on my P's and Q's. For her, nah, I wouldn't even put her through that because she don't even seem like the type of woman that'll go for that. She don't seem like the type of woman that she seemed like she'll cut you off for something like that. Who? What happened? What happened? You always been this way. You always been this type of guy. You always talk to the women this way, deal with them this way. You never even had a conversation with her, but you already ready to change? Where did that come from? That came from the power of that woman loving herself and being self-aware enough to carry herself in such a manner that they know without even talking to her, don't come over here bullshitting. That's where that came from. As well as another thing that self-awareness brings you is it makes it easier for you to be able to cut people off. Now I know a lot of y'all can relate to this. I'm guilty of it as well. Most of us have put up with people in our lives who we knew were not good for us. They did not allow us to be the best version of ourselves. They put us through a lot of heartache, a lot of stress, a lot of manipulation, and we stayed around with them anyway, trying to get it to work simply because we didn't love ourselves first. Oh, y'all, that's all right. I could be the only one. I'll put myself out there. I done it. I did it. But when you self-aware, it makes it easier. It makes it not hurt as bad to be able to cut that person off. Why? Because once you love yourself, you know what real love looks like. You know what it sounds like. You know how it feels. So no matter how good this person look, no matter how many other people want them, no matter how long it took you to get them, so what? So what? You see from how they interacting with you, how they make you feel, the things that they put you through, this ain't real love. This ain't real love. And if you love yourself first, you're not going to put yourself through that just for the sake of nothing. If this is true love, I'll have the argument. If this is true love, I'll have the disagreement. If this is true love, we'll address each other's flaws respectfully and work through these things to get on the same page. But if it ain't that, what we doing? What we doing? It's not worth it to sit there and deal with all of this pain and hurt that you're going to put yourself through simply by dealing with the wrong person. You done gave the wrong person too many chances. Because you hoping for the best. Because they showed you a fake version when y'all first started talking and you want that fake version of them to come back. Guess what? It ain't coming back. That was just a facade. That was just me putting my best foot forward to try to get you. But that's not how I always am. Sorry. But you can identify that when you got that level of self-awareness. When you got that level of self-love. You can identify these things. They just playing games. They just trying to give me the runaround. They trying to manipulate me. Nope, this ain't love. This is not what love is. And I know I got true love for them. I would never put them through this. When you got real love, you will remove yourself from somebody else's life before you continue to put them through a headache. That's just real. You will remove yourself. Not because you didn't love them, not because they couldn't be right for you, but it's just simply at this point in time, I gotta stifle being the best version of me just to try to make this work with you. And that ain't love. But you only get that through loving yourself first. And I know I keep saying it, love yourself, love yourself. That's how important it is. And that's always going to be what it is. If you're not loving yourself first, then you are looking for love through the wrong lens. And you ain't going to do nothing but put yourself through a whole bunch of torture that's self-inflicted because you knew better. And I'm not saying that, oh, you're going to go down this path of love and there ain't going to be no hurt. There ain't going to be no pain. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if you're going to be on this path of love, you got to love yourself first in order for the hurt and the pain that you go through to not be unnecessary and for it to not be self-inflicted. That's what I'm saying. And now I could keep on going about all of this. I can, however long y'all want me to keep talking about loving yourself and the benefits of it, the advantages of it. I feel like I covered enough in this video to at least help you get the proper perspective on it. But if y'all want me to go more in depth about it, go more in detail about it, or if you got other topics and subjects you want me to tackle, like I said last time, leave it in the comments. Leave it in the comments. I'm going to read the comments and I will apply whatever it is y'all need me to apply for these videos for y'all. Let me know what's up. And we're going to get back to it. And for all of us that's made it this far in the video, let me tell y'all, I'm proud of y'all. I'm proud of y'all because y'all really want to make a change. Y'all really trying to get the information to help yourself out. And if don't nobody appreciate it, I appreciate it. Now I know I've been yelling and screaming and all that stuff. Let me try to tone it down. Part of the reason why I be so loud and all that and intense is because, for one, I'm passionate about what I'm talking about. That's the main reason. I'm passionate about what I'm talking about, but I'm going to keep it all the way 100. It's also because, shoot, all the equipment and everything is on the way. Trust me. The better equipment and all that is on the way. It's going to be a better visual and audio experience moving forward. Trust me. But right now, hey, we doing what we can with what we got. But now, before we end this video off, I ain't going to leave y'all hanging like that. When you talked all about loving yourself and the importance of loving yourself and all of that. But how do we get to that point? Well, I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you asked, and I'm glad you stuck around to find out. Now, how do you get to loving yourself? First off, you already halfway there. Simply on becoming aware that you need to love yourself more. That's the first step. After you become aware of it and you made a decision, I'm going to love myself more. I'm going to be better to myself. This is how you start off. Forgive yourself. That's simple. That easy. Forgive yourself. There's stuff in the past that you felt the way about. And this is important because not only did you feel a way about some of these things that's happened or that you've gone through in the past, they've also chipped away at your self-esteem, at your confidence, at your belief in yourself. So, the first thing that you got to do is forgive yourself. Anytime that you were too shy, anytime that you feel like you embarrassed yourself, anytime that there was an opportunity and you knew that you were supposed to seize it, and for whatever reason you just did not seize that opportunity, you need to forgive yourself. You need to forgive yourself. That way you can start over with a clean slate as far as how you see yourself, how you view yourself. You got to start with this clean slate. You need that reset. Right? Now, after you get that reset, No, let me not skip too far ahead. You're gonna forgive yourself and you're gonna get the reset. Now, after you forgive yourself, you need to also spend some time with yourself. Spend some time alone, just reminiscing about any time in the past where you felt like you were not aligned with being your best self. You need to spend time reminiscing about that because it's easier now because you're not in that situation currently. Because you're somewhat removed from that situation, it's easier to look at it through a different lens. And now what you want to do is when you reminisce, if you even got to be delusional, if you got to halfway, I don't want to say lie to yourself, but if you use the power of your imagination, you're going to use the power of your imagination, take your feelings out of however you felt in that moment. If it was negative, do away with it. Do away with it. You are simply going to reminisce about any experience where you were out of line with yourself, and you're just going to find a positive perspective on it. Put a positive spin on it. If you was too shy, just say, well, I'm glad I learned from that. I'm glad I learned from that. I'm not going to be that way no more. Now I'm going to be courageous. Now I'm going to be brave. If you was embarrassed in that situation, look at how your life is now. Okay, you might have been a little embarrassed in that situation. Did it hurt you? Did it kill you? No, it didn't. If there was an opportunity that you were supposed to seize and you didn't, well, you feel how that regret feels. You know how close you were to being able to seize that opportunity and it didn't happen for you. Okay, but you're not that same person. Let that opportunity come around now. You're going to jump on and you're going to make the best of it. That's how you got to think. That's how you got to perceive it. And if nothing there, if you find it hard, if you're struggling to find something positive to think about with these experiences, if for nothing else, hey, at least you learned a lesson from it. At least you learned a lesson from it, and at least you're not that same person you was. You're stronger now. You're more resilient now. You can't be torn down as easily now just because of those experiences you went through. If it's still hard for you to think about it, hey, at least this was just something I went through. It's not my everyday life. Yeah, I went through that, but I'm not going through that. That's not my reality always, 24/7. No, it's not. I'm past that. I'm beyond that. I'm matured beyond that. I'm smarter than that now. Whatever it is. And then moving forward, don't be so hard on yourself. We all human. We all gonna make mistakes, and that's okay. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But from this day moving forward, your heart's going to be in the right place, your intention's going to be in the right place, and your mindset's going to be in the right place. So even if you fall a little shorter than what you expected to, you fell short on the right path. And that matters. That means something. Once you made it that far, make that your normal. Make this your everyday from now on. You done already became self-aware that you need to love yourself. You done made a decision that you're going to love yourself more. You done forgave yourself. After you done forgave yourself, you done reminisce about all the things that you used to think was quote-unquote bad, and you put a positive spin on it. Now, from this day moving forward, let that be your norm. Don't put yourself in situations where you're going to be around people that's going to try to tear you down or make you feel less than or make you think of yourself as less than, as well as be better to yourself. Compliment yourself. Positive self-talk. Think good thoughts about yourself. There is power in perception. There's power in the way you think of yourself, the way you believe of yourself. If you don't even think of yourself as nothing, how you even going to defend yourself from other people who think you ain't nothing? If y'all both thinking you ain't nothing, y'all both on the same side to tear you down. So speak positive to yourself, about yourself. Think highly of yourself. Celebrate yourself. Because you're worth it. If don't nobody think you're worth it, you got to know that you're worth it. Once you know you're worth it, once you believe in yourself, once you carry yourself that way, the rest of the world is going to respond in kind. But you have to love you first. You have to forgive you first. And then after that, you have to be the example of how you want other people to treat you and think about you and talk about you. You got to be that for you first. You got to be that first. And it's that simple. I know a lot of people tell you, oh, you know, it'll be a little hard at first. No, it's not. It's going to be as easy as you make it. The only thing is, it's going to be a little different. It's not going to feel as natural because you've been the other way longer than you've been on this path. So that's okay. But just simply identify when you're being too hard on yourself and change it right then. You gotta be real with yourself though. Whatever situation you in, whatever activity you in, whatever it is that you doing, you always supposed to strive to be the best version of yourself. Be the best version of yourself. And once you know that you're giving it your all, you put your heart and your soul, your mind, everything into it, celebrate that fact alone. You ain't gotta celebrate the results. The results ain't always gonna be what you want them to be. But it's going to be hard for you to fail over and over and over again when you giving it your all, when you putting your best foot forward. Now that's going to be it for today's video. But like I said, for everybody that made it this far, I'm proud of y'all. I'm proud of y'all. I'm rooting for y'all. Ain't no way y'all going to fail. No way you going to fail. And if you need some happy reminders, come back to the video. It's still going to be here. Come back to it, rewatch it again, fast forward to the key parts that you need to. Get your repetitions in, love yourself, speak highly of yourself, think highly of yourself. And I'm telling you, there ain't no way things won't work out for you. Like I said, I'm proud of y'all already. I'm seeing the changes in you already. And if don't nobody else tell you, I got love for you.